Well, when you join us for the last round of Season 2 of the New Horizon Racing League. Normally, the season comes to an end, and as such, the sun sets with it. Of course, we're in Abu Dhabi. I'm host Game Things, and like always, I am joined by Connor.
Hello. It's been a long while coming, this, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've never actually got to the end of a season before.
Yeah, and as per usual, I think with the last 5 circuits we've been to, Abu Dhabi is uncharted territory for the New Horizons guys. I think some of them have done a few league races before, but it'll be interesting to see just how we all manage to cope around the circuit. I don't know if we're all going to be spread out, or it could be a pretty compact race. So we'll wait and see, and hopefully we can give this season a good send-off.
Hopefully, well, we got 10 drivers, meaning that we have half race distance, so that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, despite the issues we've been having over the last couple of weeks, I'm really grateful that we've managed to get the 10 drivers that we have, and I beg that we can all get through at least the first couple of laps without incident.
We have a Renault and a Red Bull here fighting for track position right now. Whoa, Red Bull!
I believe that'll be deranged, I think.
No, that'd be Tadpole.
Oh, Tadpoles. Yeah, I'm getting a bit confused because in Division 2, Tadpoles has just signed for Renault.
Yeah, he basically when he came out of the corner, I think he revved a little bit too much going out of the corner, so he kind of went a little bit to the right.
Fair dues.
As you can see, Collins has retired straight away from the session. You can probably explain to me on that.
Yeah, so the reason behind that, it's been a mutual agreement with some of the drivers that even though he was supposed to have a double race ban from Mexico onwards until the end of the season, but to be fair on him and the other drivers, that he's already served a race ban for an incident he caused with the driver, and another incident that he caused with another driver. They are not returning to the league, so I thought just for sporting purposes the least he could do is retire from qualifying but still take part in the race, and at least it would bump up the numbers a little bit.
Regardless, it probably wouldn't matter. He probably would have crashed out the race anyway.
Oh, come on mate, that's a bit harsh.
God,
leave him alone. He's a good lad though. You should know he's not a bad person.
He's a good guy. He's just incredibly unlucky.
Oh, if there was an unlucky award for the season, he'll probably get it, hands down.
Yeah, but to be fair, all that unluckiness has caused him to have that stereotype, though. That's why I said it.
Well, it's the thing with league racing though, as soon as something happens to you, you always get given a label of some kind, and I've had it in another league when, the other league that me and you joined, my very first one, I got given a label straight away, and then I was like, didn't get on well with that league, so I joined another, and that label still followed me around. It's the only time the label hasn't really stuck with me is in my own bloody league.
Well, thanks to that label, this league wouldn't have existed.
I just hope none of it's leading to the league being given the label, but I'll be having a talk with some of the guys. Yeah, but it's more or less to do with the fact that we have low numbers. I don't think we're doing anything wrong. It's just there's a little bit of a management problem with very few people trying to do too many things.
Anyway,
which I'm not ashamed to talk about, because these things do happen and they need sorting, so I'm not afraid to talk about it. I wouldn't really say we're at proper crisis mode or anything.
Yeah. Anyway, you've run faster by smashing it out of the park.
Yep, and I can go faster. Sorry, but I can.
The closest person to you right now is Rope. Actually, no, screw that. Alco now. But he is on harder tyres than you, but still over a second slower.
I think he's gone for a harder overall compound setup at the loading screen, because I think I've opted for the softest, so I may have several sets of hypersofts that I don't need to use.
Well, to be fair, you got the second hardest tyre out of the people who've set a time so far. There are 3 people who've had hypersofts.
Yeah, that's just for me to try and set my banker lap time. And it's gone well so far. I don't know, I might actually regret that though, because I don't know if I'd want to start on the hypersofts, otherwise I risk a 2-stop.
Now, what type of strategy would you use at this track?
I'm not all that familiar with the tyre life for them. I know it's either hypersoft or you could risk the 1-stop on a ultra super, but you need to actually look after your tyres pretty well, because the circuit is actually quite high on degradation. The surface, it's not the smoothest, but it's not the most abrasive either. So a 2-stop will be very comfortable. You could probably even risk going using all 3 compounds, or maybe a ultra setup. I'm not surprised. I'm literally not surprised.
Yeah, you've been beaten by Blazed by Gaming by 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, he's a bloody quick driver. He's from our 2nd division. We have 2 Division 2 guys making their debut in Division 1 tonight. Blazed by Gaming, who's the Division 2 championship leader, and Tom, who I think he's jumped in the Force India. I can't remember off the top of my head what car he was in. No, I think he's in a blue car. I think he's in a Toro Rosso.
Who?
Tom.
Yeah, I think he is in a Toro Rosso. Yeah, he's in a Toro Rosso.
Fair enough. So, with this circuit, how much do you actually know about it?
All I know is that since it's in the desert, that you have a very dirty side.
What do you mean dirty side? They're not exactly... Well, the Middle East isn't exactly the loudest of public places on the planet.
No, when I say dirty side, I mean like the actual dirt from the desert getting on the track.
Surprisingly, even though the Yas Island is man-made, there's, compared to like Bahrain, the Yas Marina circuit is nowhere near a desert.
How many islands make up the country? Like 44, is it?
What, the United Arab Emirates?
Yeah.
Overall? It depends if you're counting the world islands in Dubai. I think there's probably, and the ones still being built, about 100.
There are 100 islands. What make up Abu Dhabi?
Abu Dhabi is a city, not a country.
I'm pretty sure it's the country.
No, it's not. I've been there. United Arab Emirates, and Abu Dhabi is the capital. Dubai is just the financial centre.
Oh yeah, the country is the Emirates. Well, thank you, Connor. You've made me look stupid to everyone who watches this.
It's alright, it won't be the first time, and I can tell you, it ain't gonna be the last time.
What do you mean, not the first time?
No, in case if you don't remember, I went to the circuit at the start of March.
I'm aware.
Well, I went to the Dubai Autodrome, I went to the Sakir circuit, and I went to this one. I've stood on the podium. Oh, these hypers are dire. I've only gone through the first sector and I'm already feeling tyre wear.
I can't. The game isn't telling me if you're up or not.
I'm a bit all over with my Delta at the minute. I was 7
yellow
tenths
flag.
down at turn 3, but in turn 5 I am about a quarter of a second up. I don't know if that'd be enough for me to reclaim pole or not.
Well, to get reclaim pole, you have to improve your time by 2 tenths.
I can do that easily. It's just this is a very scruffy lap. I'm very tired. I've been awake for more than 24 hours, so you might have to bear with me.
I think the I think the range took a lot of curb there. I think that's someone slowing down that yellow flag.
I want to talk more about the circuit though. I don't think you're aware as much history there is behind the circuit. For example, have you noticed that the circuit is in the shape of a gun? Silence. But that design by Herman Tilke was actually done on purpose.
Why?
With some heritage to the Middle East. Apparently, you know, back in the 60s or something, I think AK-47s were like the weapon of defense or like power or something along those lines. And there's a tower somewhere on the circuit. I don't know if it's the tower at the end of the main straight or somewhere else around the circuit, but there's a tower that is only accessible to the royal family. Is not accessible by VIPs or tourists or locals. I think the typical desert theme with the grandstands, you know, like the little tarps on top of them, I think they share the same thing with Bahrain, with that it's designed from the original tents that made up the olden villages of Abu Dhabi. And you know the hotel section?
Yeah.
Half of that hotel is floating on water.
I can imagine which half.
Yeah, the bit that's sticking out into the water.
I mean, you guessed that.
Yeah, it's basically got like a little bit of Venice theme to it. You got Ferrari World just ahead of the hairpin section.
The fastest roller coaster in the world, I think.
Yeah, 150 miles an hour, fastest roller coaster and the fastest accelerating roller coaster. For some reason, my tour guide told us that what the staff like to do is tell the people that are riding it to open your mouth, and the moment you leave, like when the roller coaster gets going, you need to try and shut it again before you accelerate to 80 miles an hour, and normally it's something like people end up being sick or something. And also early in March, the first sector opened up in Abu Dhabi for World Rallycross, which I missed meeting the WTF1 guys by literally 2 days.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was messaging on Instagram. I wasn't getting any replies anytime soon. But what else? Yeah, I think it's the Sheikh Zayed Mosque, which is just around the corner. I think it's the largest mosque that's not in Mecca, and there's one person in the entire world that's been banned from returning to it. Do you know who that is?
Please say Trump.
No.
Damn
We all
it.
thought it was Trump, but it's not. It's
Who was
actually
it?
Rihanna.
Rihanna?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Because I think she did a music video there before, and did some very provocative poses, and the locals weren't happy about that. So she can still come to Abu Dhabi, still perform music, but she can never set foot in the mosque ever again.
Oh, okay. It's a thing. Yeah, kind of. Have you just been itching just to get to this track, just so you can say facts you learnt from your experience in here?
Yeah, because I enjoyed it. I've stood on the podium as part of a little tour guide.
Whoa! What happened there?
I've
What
just
happened
seen
there?
a Red Bull somewhere on the mini-map go flying, by the looks of it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's arranged. You're coming up to him now. Watch out, he's in the middle of the track. Can you see him?
Not yet. Looking. I think his car's got. Oh my god, there's debris all over the track. Oh, and just one more quick fun fact, because we're running out of time on quali here. The pit lane.
What about it?
You can't see the track from the pit lane.
Oh.
So when we went to the, because I had a driving experience in Mercedes GTR around the Central Circuit, and it, when you get to the pit wall, it's like a 5-foot drop to the circuit. You'll see it on the grid. You'll see how high the pit wall actually is.
One thing about the pits, yeah, I do know I do know one fact myself. Yeah, that do you know the oh hey, oh that's it, okay, that's a Renault doing donuts.
I was a bit worried he'd end up doing donuts. He should have been saving that for next week.
Oh, the Red Bull's doing donuts now.
Try not to focus on that too much. If anything, I knew they were going to do it anyway.
Well, do you want me to click off it?
Yeah, you might as well ride on board with me. I'm on a flying lap.
Why are they doing that?
It's because it's the last race of the season.
Fair enough. You went wide there.
Oh come on! Why am I so slow? Oh, I just did the bloody first sector in lean.
That'll help. If they're still doing donuts, you should probably see them right now. Yep, yellow flag still. You're going to come up to them doing donuts, aren't you?
As long as they don't get in my way, I don't care. Ah, messed up.
Did you get distracted by their donuts?
Nope. I just messed up because I'm heavily fatigued.
Oh god, are you going to get pole position? Oh, Sifasi's got pole!
Crap! Ah, sorry about that.
Oh! Hit the wall. Well, looks like Sifas is on pole.
That's his first pole position with us.
The Ferrari, for once, has got pole. Woo!
I still want to apologise to everyone about last week in Brazil. It was just an absolute mess, and I didn't even know until earlier in the week that we weren't going to be doing. We weren't going to be redoing Brazil. It just wasn't. It wasn't fair on the 3 drivers that were left in the race for them to keep going for another half an hour between the 3 of them. Just out. I know they might have wanted to race, but I just didn't want to waste any of the time.
Which is fair enough. So I think this is our qualifying session. If that Renault isn't done doing donuts. No, he's still doing donuts.
Damn it! I was about to leave the pit lane for some reason. I'm actually quite disappointed about that. I had a lot more pace.
Dude, either cross the line or go in the pits. There you go.
Thank God we're revamping the rules for next season.
Ah.
Otherwise, that would have been many reprimands for impeding qualifying.
Anyway, that has been our qualifying session. We're just going to wait till the results come up. There you go. Supasa gets pole position by 0.3 of a second, 1:35.9. And close by is Alcon 1:36.2, and then third and fourth is Blazed and Connor. everyone's on ultra softs apart from the bottom 4 and the 5th place loop back on the super softs. Join us back for a very interesting race indeed.